Let's hear how people really feel. This video is brought to you by the Officer Tatum Store. The Officer Tatum Store. Get the merch link in the description section. Also, text Tatum to 53445. Text Tatum to 53445. Y'all know what to do. Let's get into this. Ladies and gentlemen, and ladies, let's talk about this video I saw. This young man interviewed, and I'll put his stuff up on there and put his link in the description section. Young man interviewed people about the use of the N-word in Joe Rogan. And he interviewed white people and he interviewed black people. And I don't think you'll be shocked, but it's quite telling the difference of an opinion. One side that you think would be upset is not upset, and the side that you think would be more conscious of listening and not making an opinion are the ones with the biggest opinion. So before we start that video, I want you to hear this clip from Malcolm X, because I think he articulates this probably 80% accurate. I think he had a disdain from white people in general, but he kind of points out the ideology of the liberals. You listen to this and then you watch that video and it's all going to make sense. Roll the film.
The liberal is more deceitful, more hypocritical than the conservative. Both want power, but the white liberal is the one who has perfected the art of posing as the Negro's friend and benefactor. And by winning the friendship and support of the Negro, the white liberal is able to use the Negro as a pawn or a weapon in this political football game that is constantly raging between the white liberals and the white conservatives. The American Negro is nothing but a political football. And the white liberals control this ball through tricks or tokenism, false promises of integration and civil rights. In this game of deceiving and using the American Negro, the white liberals have complete cooperation of the Negro civil rights leader, who sell our people out for a few crumbs of token recognition, token gains, token progress.
All right, so just keep that in mind. Those of you who watch me know that it's pretty accurate on how I feel to a certain degree. Now let's watch the young man, James Klug, I think his name is. I think it's Klug. He's interviewing people, and he has a whole channel where he does this, and I'm going to link his channel and the full video to this in the description section. But this is interesting when you do Man on the Streets and you listen to people talk without them cross-pollinating, and you see how ignorant some people really are. Roll the film.
He's terrible.
He's terrible?
He should be off Spotify. I'm behind Neil Young all the way.
It's offensive, and it's not our choice. It's not his choice, and shouldn't be using it.
He's been doing a lot of crazy lately. He just thinks he can do whatever he wants, you know?
Do you guys care?
Absolutely not.
Hell no.
I don't care.
What about you?
Not at all.
He's not saying nothing bad to me, so I don't care. I don't give a
Do I care about Joe Rogan generally or this issue specifically? No, but people are going to want to be upset about whatever they're going to be upset about.
Does it bother you or does it not?
As soon as I get me a show, it's first thing I'm going to say, I made it.
If anything that George Floyd taught us was to open our eyes and actually see what's in front of us and actually address it, not just keep ignoring it. And by keeping him on, we're ignoring it.
Oh my God, this is crazy. It's a 7-minute video by James, and I'm gonna put the link to that video in the description section so you can watch the whole thing. By and large, it gets worse. I think there's one person on there that's white that actually had a balanced perspective, but this is a interesting concept, and I have to do a better job at pointing the blame where blame should be pointed in a more accurate way, because I know I get on black people a lot, and that's because I grew up around all black people, and that's the environment in which I know better because I grew up in it. But being an adult, it's starting to seem more to me like it is the white liberal that's the loudest and the most radical, and the black liberal is a close second. And when I bash people and I go off on the deep end about black people, I'm mostly talking about, I would say 99% of what I'm talking about is the black liberal. I'm not explaining or espousing an entire perspective of every black person. I'm talking about the liberals. And unfortunately, the majority of the black perspective when you consider voting is liberal. So a lot of what I say in these failed cities, these hypocrites are mostly assigned to the black liberal. But even worse than these black mayors and these people always crying racism is the white liberals. They are by far, I wouldn't say by far, there's a pretty close second there for the black liberals, but these white liberals are absolutely out of control. Their minds are so focused on victimhood that they don't even really know what black people think about the issues that they're talking about. This gentleman just interviewed black people and white people regarding Joe Rogan and the N-word. These white people probably think that black people believe what they believe and that they are being allies or advocates for the perspective of black people. When black people are interviewed, they don't even care. I think Mark Dice or somebody else did a very similar deal like this when it comes to black people and identification for voting, because you know that the Democrats are saying, oh, it's racist, black people can't get IDs. So what did they do? They went down to a heavily black populated area and they said, hey, do you have an ID? There is not one black person that they interviewed that did not have an ID. And even more spectacular is he randomly asked him, well, where do you get an ID? I mean, the dude told him the cross streets to the DMV. Oh, it's right up there on 43rd and 6th. And I mean, random on the spot. I don't even know where my DMV at. And in this city that's heavily populated with black people, they all know how to get an ID and where the ID is at. And then when they interview white people, white liberals, they decried that black people don't have access. They don't typically have IDs. They don't know where to get IDs. It's an adversity. It's like, bro, y'all are living in two different worlds. You think you doing what's right for black people, but you have never even spoke to a black person to get a perspective as to what black people really think about some of these issues. It's the same thing about Black Lives Matter. You know, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. Well, y'all talking about George Floyd and all this other. Most black people can see, well, you know, George Floyd, that was a wrong situation, but George Floyd was a crackhead. Y'all acting like most black people look at him like he's a god. I know some idiots have put statues up of George Floyd, but generally speaking, black people ain't looking at him like that. And the perception from these elite white liberals who have no access to any cultural awareness, they are completely lost. And they project this on their family members. I would argue that if you were at a dinner, just say there was a biracial couple and the family was white liberals and the boyfriend or the husband is a black man. And I guarantee you, and just say that they had long distance relationship, they just recently got married, the family had never met this black man. I guarantee you 100%, I mean probably 99.9%, that the white liberal family would be all ready to go to defend Black Lives Matter, to talk about George Floyd, to say police brutality is a problem in this country. They will prime themselves to welcome the perspective that they believe that that black person feels. And they will be ready to go. They'll cuss their daughter out if their daughter voted for Trump. And then when they finally meet the black man, they realize, oh, he voted for Trump too. Oh, he's unraveling everything that we thought to be true. Because most of what these people that think like this, most of what they believe is more projection than reality. So I thought this was a tremendous video. I'll put the full video. It's entertaining. Trust me, it's entertaining in the comments section. But let me know what you think about this. Who do you think is the biggest problem in this country with rhetoric and deception? Do you think it's the white liberal, the mainstream media, or the black liberal, or the conservative? That's your 4 questions. Throw it in the comment section. I love you guys. Appreciate you. See you on the next one. I'm out.